architects play a huge role in our life when creating public buildings like this, and many of them that we take for granted take as much thought, care and consideration as any multi-million-dollar home. Right now, Jill's in Bondi, about to show us another public building.
North Bondi Amenity demonstrates architecture at play in the community.
Constructed of concrete and recycled timber battens with an excellent green roof, which I really love.
Putting it in a central spot in Bondi also is good for the public that use it around the general population, but it's also safe, and safety is a major thing.
This project is one of the most visited sites in Australia, but it's not what you might expect. So Sam, tell me why we're here talking about a toilet block.
Yeah, I guess Bondi is Australia's most visited tourist destination. I believe 2.5 million people visit every year. And so this little building serves a lot of people.
I really like what you've done with the roof. Is it about the sand blowing up from the beach, about sort of capturing a little bit of the dune idea?
I suppose it's the dune, but it's also the headlands. So the idea of the rocky headlands and the way that little plants end up growing in the cracks and crevices of the headlands. And it's as though the roof is just self-seated with the sand blowing onto it.
Yeah, it feels like that. It's quite lovely. It obviously has to be an extremely robust building to cope with this weather and this wind. What's it all made from?
The external skin of the building is wrapped in timber. We were having a meeting with council one day at one of their depots, and part of the building was being demolished, and there was all these beautiful timbers that were potentially going to the tip, and we were able to secure those timbers and recycle them for this building. Privacy is obviously critical in a building like this. It's a public change room and toilets. What you might often have is a kind of a gap between the walls and the roof to allow ventilation. So the concrete block wall that sits behind the timber skin has little slots in it that allow ventilation through.
What I noticed was that they're also very carefully oriented so you get ventilation, a lot of ventilation, but absolutely no visibility. I really like the way that you've put the basins on the outside of the building.
Yeah.
Is there a reason behind it?
Bondi is very much a place where life is lived in public. You've got Muswell Beach just down here, people coming up from the beach, having a shower in public. People love to be on show.
Yeah.
And so putting the mirrors in addition to the basins means that there's a bit of preening goes on, and means that there's more people just around the building, which increases public safety. It also means that if you just need to wash your hands because you've had an ice cream, you can come and wash your hands.
You don't have to go in. I'm always delighted when I see local government invest in design in their even tiny infrastructure.
The beach sees millions of visitors each year, as opposed to, say, in the 1930s, where the population increase is just astronomical.
I can imagine.
So we're having to cater for that increase.
What sort of feedback have you had from the public?
It's been great. We get loads and loads of tourist buses that pull up to this location and use the facilities. Lots of beachgoers, surfers come through using the showers. So
I've noticed they all like being on display.
It's Bondi Beach. Everyone likes to be on display, so yeah.
Hopefully you can see why we're featuring a toilet block on this show. It would be very easy to think that a building like this doesn't require investment in design. But the design of this building shows how important it is. It's delightful, it's robust, and it's safe. And it is visited by an extraordinary number of people every day.
Let's hear the judges' decision on which of our projects are going through to the top 10 best of the best.
Punchbowl Mosque has deservedly made our final episode because it represents architectural detailing at the highest standard.
It really is a validation of the quality of the architecture in this project.
I'm not surprised that North Bondi Amenities got through to the final. The way it has been designed to be long-lasting, easily accessible, the safety, the outside facade, I think it's an amazing coming together of the architecture in a public space.
It's fantastic to see these public spaces really holding their own up against perhaps some of the more glamorous domestic homes.